Hari Om. Today's discussion is on the 12th mantra of section 2 of chapter 1 of Mundaka. The mantra reads Parikshya Lokan Karmachitan Brahmano Nirvedamayat Nyastya Kridena Tad Vijnanartham Gurumeva Bhigachet Samitpani Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. This is how the mantra reads. Now, in the last stanza or mantra, Shruti very clearly indicated that performance of yagas and yajnas by themselves cannot and will not take a seeker to the realms of reality. An ardent and sincere seeker to attain the true knowledge will naturally have a legitimate doubt as to what he should then do, and naturally he will be charged with curiosity and anxiety. In this mantra, we find that the Rishi is setting out a future plan of action, as it were, for the student to enable him to reach his coveted goal of self-realization. The Shruti is referring to the student here with a purely a technical term as Brahmana. Such a Brahmana, after having analyzed critically and ruthlessly the various types of results that would come as a consequence of the yagas and yajnas, Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan. Do the Pariksha. Pariksha means experiment. Brahmano, and that Brahmana is asked to think for himself as to whether he can ever attain an object of immortality through an instrument of mortality. Think. The reality or the nirvana state of consciousness is not a state created out of the yagas and yajnas. Reality was, is, and shall ever be. That which is created shall be destroyed. Therefore, anything that is created by a yaga or a yajna must be destroyable. The immortal peace or reality is indestructible, and hence, how can one ever get an eternal, infinite state of consciousness through such ephemeral, finite actions? The student is advised to direct his investigation on these lines. When the student thus inquires in the right direction as guided by the rishis, he will certainly come to possess an ardent willpower and steadfastness to realize that truth which is truly immortal and indestructible. The Shruti further continues to say that having thus come to an incontrovertible conclusion that yagas and yajnas can never ever take him to his kingdom of peace, he develops an intelligent detachment to such futile exercises and inquires for alternative paths. The karma bhalas of yagas and yajnas therefore becomes irrelevant for him, aprasakta. They are not relevant. Whatever be the results that I get out of the yagas and yajnas are not relevant for me in the sense because that is not my goal. If I get it, okay. If I don't get it, okay. That is irrelevance. It is not relevant for me. Then, which university will now he be admitted for a PG course on immortality? The kind Rishi advises the Brahmana, meaning he who has attained sufficient knowledge on the futility of these wasteful exercises to approach for a guru for further guidance, not studies. Like in our PhD, he is called the guide. He is not a professor, he is not a lecturer, he is not a reader, he is a guide. Tat vijnanartham gurumeva bhigachet. He is thus directed to approach the guru with a samitpani. Samitpani means samit in hand. Gadavani, you who has got a gada in the hand. Samitpani. Samit is a pack of dry wood, generally used for fuel, or it could be a bundle of neem branches, both to indicate that the disciple is ready to totally surrender to the guru. It is a symbolic expression. The dry twigs may also indicate, according to some scholars, that the student had burnt all his egocentric desires and negative tendencies. This was the ancient method of seeking a guru but not by fixation of an appointment by email or WhatsApp, as in the present case. Therefore, he thus approaches the Guru. He is advised to approach the Guru. Now, there are a number of Gurus. Ever so many Gurus are open for advices. Which Guru he should choose? Now, the glory of this Upanishad lies in the mantra, in the sense that you get a very crisp but clear definition of a true Guru. Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. The Guru should be Shotriya and Brahmanishta. Only two qualifications. Very crisp but abundantly clear. Shotriya means a complete, thorough mastery over the entire scriptures. And Brahmanishta means abiding personal experience of the absolute reality. Every minute, every second, every microsecond, he who enjoys or revels in that Atman, the reality, the Supreme, he is called a Brahmanishta. Wherever he is, he may be in a forest, he may be elsewhere, wherever. Yogareto va, bhogareto va, sangareto va, sangavihina, yasyat brahmani ramate chittam, nandadi nandadi nandatyeva. He alone enjoys, who is always contemplating on Brahman, and he who has already become Brahman. That is called Brahmanishta. So a Guru therefore must have Shotriyam, he should have studied the entire, and he should have a mastery over the entire scriptures. Not only that, he should also be having a practical knowledge, practical experience of having enjoyed the reality. These are the imperative qualifications of a true Guru. A mere scriptural mastery is not enough, but he should also be abiding in permanent inner peace. These days we have plenty of scriptural scholars posing themselves as masters of Veda, a couple of PhD degrees from various universities, and when you talk to them, they will tell you that they can recite the entire 700 stanzas of Bhagavad Gita by heart, and they will tell you that they have gone through Gita 1008 times. They can chant from backwards. You ask them which is the 345th stanza from the back, they will chant that stanza for you. Yet, you watch his actions, his life is full of crisis. Morning when the newspaper or milk is 5 minutes delayed, there is crisis. A tinge of extra sugar in the coffee, there is a crisis. The car key is misplaced, there is a crisis. In the office, if the boss comes in time, there is a crisis. Your subordinate is on leave, there is a crisis. Now see, what is the use of his going through Gita 1008 times or 10,008 times? The fact remains is that she has not gone through him even once. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madam, Atsarya are a part of his daily life. Not only part of his life, they are his faithful fellow travelers. Santata Sahachari. Even if one stanza of Bhagavad Gita is digested in him, Dukkeshu Anijugnamana, Sukheshu Vigataspruha, Vidaraga Bhaya Krodha, Siddhadir Muniruchade, or Ananyas Chindayanto Mam Yejanam Paryupasate, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogatshemam Vahamyaham. The true meaning of any of the stanzas of Bhagavad Gita, if he has been able to digest into him, and if that stanza has gone through him, none of the incidents quoted above will ever create flutter or crisis in him. He will be a man of stable mind, sthita prajna. Therefore, going through Gita, going through Vedas is not great. They must go through you. So a mere bookish knowledge, Shotriyam, is not enough to be a Guru. But he should live the life the way indicated in the scriptures. Brahmanishtam. Lastly here, Shruti gives a hint, though not manifest but very subtly, a word of comfort that the seeker of reality, the Brahmana, need not master the scriptures. He need not be a master in Bhagavad Gita, he need not be a master in Vedas, nothing. It is enough if he has that burning desire to realize himself. But the mastery of the scriptures is essential and imperative who wants to be a Guru. And only a Guru need to be this. With this, the stanza concludes, and let us see tomorrow what we have in store for the next stanza. Hari Om.